and maybe for someone it's still good morning, but mostly I think it's good afternoon. And I finished the game. I've beaten the game. Ariel Warlash was defeated on the ultimate unfair, without pets, without any respects, without corrections of mistakes that I made, without multiclassing, without mercenaries, with multiplication factor 3. That's what I call the ultimate unfair. And the most difficult combat, it was definitely the combat with Ariel Warlish. She was the enemy that I didn't expect to meet. I heard that she is quite strong, but I didn't think she would be as strong as she was. Really a formidable enemy. And it took me some time to find a way to defeat her at this difficulty. But principle of defeating Ariel Warlash is actually like that. You absolutely need to, absolutely. I would say yes, I would say absolutely. To have two guarded hearths, one and another. Looks like number 8. So you come here, you put one guarded hearth, and then if you are Azata, you have a way with that, with Heroes Never Surrender. You can make three more guarded hearths, because it recovers all the spells till level 7. Like now, guarded hearth 0.
Our duty calls.
I click like that. There's a new guarded hearth. He can put it even here. So actually, to be on the safe side, it's even possible to put one more here. Because actually Ariel Warlash, she is jumping. Sometimes she jumps here, sometimes she jumps here, and sometimes she jumps here. And my characters, they also move. They can move there, they can move there. So to be on the safe side, it's good to have 3 of them. Then you have place for maneuver. Now, what is this system? But who watched my video before, video starting from yesterday? Because yesterday I defeated Ariel Warlash in the morning. On the very first try I defeated her, but problem is that I didn't pass test. That test, persuasion, because Diran has 58 and Aiva has 58 also. Problem is Diran will be killed. There is no way you can win this fight without Diran being killed maybe 3 times, maybe 2 times. And after he is killed, he will lose his buffs and he will have like 41 or 43 persuasion, I don't remember, it depends, but 41 or 43, so it's not enough. And Aiwu has, even if she is killed, she'll have like, I think 51, at least she will have. But better not let her killed, never let her killed. So I defeated her in the morning, but then when came to this test persuasion, I just lost it. And then appeared 3 Arilu Warlish. And to defeat 3 Arilu Warlish, maybe it's possible, but it will be very, very challenging on this level of difficulty, considering that almost all of my characters, most of them, were killed several times each and lost all their buffs. So now strategy to defeat is the following. So you have 2, if you like, you put 3 guarded hearth, you keep your team here, and Nenio you put here, and using Great Enrichment Magic Rod, you debuff Arilu Warlish. Nenio will always debuff her on the first try. Of course, with goggles of pure sight, you need those goggles. It's a must. It's a must. Without it, forget about winning, beating Arilu Warlish. To beat her, you need to debuff her 3 times. Theoretically, it could be after 2 times, but after 2 times it's questionable. So you need to debuff her 3 times to beat her. Then she becomes an easy target. After she has been debuffed 3 times, she becomes an easy target. So first step is from here you debuff. Then she jumps. Arilu Warlish, she will jump or here or here. So mostly she jumps here or here, teleports. Sometimes she teleports just in the middle of your team. So 3 possibilities. 1, 2, 3. When she teleports, most probably here or here, you turn to turn-based mode. You always start in real mode, like that. You do like that.
Let's prove their logic is lacking.
So it's definitely debuffed. Menu dispels many things. Cement was very important. It's very important to dismantle. Dispel Seamantle and some other things. After that you immediately go to turn-based LAN. Don't try to attack her with LAN anything, because she'll go here. So if you want for LAN something, click on True Strike. LAN will miss anyway, but maybe he can hit her, take 5 or 6 points of health. Then, okay, that's what happens. She deals damage to Nenio, of course, but Nenio is not killed. Watch out if you have Demon Graph, that's a big problem, because when Nenio gets Frenzy, that's all, she can't debuff anymore. You need to kill Nenio, that she could again debuff. So she didn't lose her health below 101. So now Arilu, by the way, will be targeting Nenio all the time. So just run away with Nenio somewhere there. Maybe here. Yeah. Then Camellia. Camellia, mostly, she does only 2 things. Camellia uses the Ring Promise of Power on everyone. Not on everyone. On Wizard, on One, on Diran, on Nature. And then, second function of Camellia, it's put Evil Eye on Arilu. Now it doesn't matter. But after second debuff, Evil Eye start playing a role. Of course, you need to have some summons. But actually, in this game, summons Summons can help if you spam some Azatas Bravani that sometimes can heal. So the only use from summons, it's summons which can heal, and it's Azata Bravani. So you should have those. Now Ivo cannot die. If she dies, forget about winning the game. You can, but it's very improbable. So Ivo, you can try use Ivo to debuff Rilu. I tried it. 1 chance from 20 she will debuff. So if you want to try it, why not? But chance that it succeeds, very, very small. Okay, see? Ivo fails. I can try again, because I used Quicken with the Magic Rod, but he even Ivo even dispelled Spider Swarm instead of it. So the best, keep Ivo as far as possible. Normally I put Ivo or somewhere here or somewhere here. We don't need Ivo to be killed. First of all, she is very important for persuasion check if you defeat Taril, and she will be extremely important for resurrecting your killed companions. They will be killed and a lot of times. I think Amelia was killed like 4 times, and one was killed maybe 3 times. So so she should be somewhere here. So don't try to dispel with Ivo. It's loss of time. Keep her far from harm. Nenio, Diran, okay. Diran, after second dispel, Diran can start hitting with his Hellfire Ray. So far, what can Diran do? Because he cannot hit from here anyone. So you can send some monsters, Gaela Azata, Boogeyman. Let's say, but the best is Azata Bralani, and he doesn't have it. Azata Bralani, it's good because it will heal. Now Wizard, he can of course hit, but he will miss. Because, as you see, she is too far. If Wizard will approach, yes, he can hit, but you can see he will miss. He will miss. Miss. 13 damage. It's nothing. So to hit second time with Hellfire Ray makes no sense, but sometimes with 13, 20, 18, so he dealt 31 damage and he lost 2 Hellfire Rays and he lost also Great Quicken. So I wouldn't do that. Now you use Nenio, that she, Zosiel, by the way, Zosiel should always keep 3 things. Vision of Madness on Wizard and on Lan, on them too. And always should keep Inspiring Command and Inspiring Word. Those 3 main things. 1, 2, 3. My problem is that I had it very difficult because I made a mistake when I was building Zosiel. I gave him Spell Focus Mythic Evocation instead of Domain Zealot, and I should have given him Domain Zealot, because Domain Zealot has a free action, so those things are free action for the main zealot. So he could put all of that in one go, like 1, 2, 3. And I didn't have it, so you can imagine how difficult it was for me, because I had to put this, then it was expiring very fast, and I had to wait around to put that. But if you can put all 3 things in one go, that gives you tremendous advantage. My biggest problem that I couldn't put those 3 things at the same time, or those things to 3 different people, like 1, 2, 3, or even 4. So that was the biggest problem. So I had to do them one by one. One round this, another round this, another round this. It's okay, because it made it even more challenging, even more difficult. So Zosel, put just those. You don't need anything else. 1, 2, 3, it's enough. And of course, Nenio should dispel, should continue dispelling. What is important? If Nenio doesn't dispel her on the second attempt, it makes no sense to continue. You better reload. So Nenio should dispel 2 times in a row. First time she always dispels, and the second time when she has a chance to dispel, she should dispel. If she doesn't dispel, if she fails, reload the game. Because if she missed second time, if she didn't succeed second time of dispelling, chance that you will succeed is very, very low. Okay, Diran. I can check how he shoots, but I don't think he will hit. Stun a diamond. Wizard. I wonder why Nenio... it's turn of Nenio now. See, it's again 16. So actually, before Nenio has dispelled second time, it really makes not so much sense to use your wizard to hit those hellfire rays, because he will just use those powerful hellfire for nothing. And what is more important, weaken Metamagic Rod will be expire very fast. And now turn of Nenio, and now if she fails her dispel, then just trust me, reload the game. Reload the game, because you will not succeed. Chances very, very small. Now we'll see if she managed to dispel. See? Fails. She fails to dispel. So Nenio fails to dispel. Then you can reload. You will not succeed. Maybe 1 chance on 100. So it's better reload. And do it till Nenio dispelled her for the second time. After that, you can start hit her with Hell's Fire Ray. Wizard and Diran and Nenio will be very efficient. They will hit her almost all the time. Almost all the time. With Hellfire Rays. Nenio, of course, should dispel her for the 3rd time. It's very important to display her the 3rd time. You can win after 2 displays, but to make it even easier, you need to display a 3rd time. So 3 dispels, it's good. And at the same try that Ivo is not killed, she can be killed. Diran should stay alive, but it's very difficult. Zosiel also very important that he stays alive, because if he is killed, it's difficult to put those domain spells from madness domain and from knowledge domain, from ability domain. So basically that's a tactic. If someone is killed, resurrect. Resurrect with Ivo or resurrect with Diran. Or resurrect with anyone else, because you need also to have scrolls of resurrection. It's extremely important to have those scrolls of resurrection. Where are they? Here. Scroll of Raised Dead. I have 19 of them. Also, by the way, very important to have, extremely important to have where is it? Restoration Greater. It's absolutely a must. You need to have scrolls and you need to have spells, because Arilu Vorlish, she puts a lot of attacks which where you will lose your abilities. Mostly it's dexterity drain. She drains dexterity 12, so one gets minus 12 dexterity immediately. Your wizard gets 12 dexterity minus. So without dexterity, you can imagine they start missing more often. Diran gets minus 12 dexterity, so they start missing very, very often. So for that, it's important to have great restoration. So basically that's tactics. Start with Nenio, should be 2 dispels. After 2 dispels, you can start attacking with wizard, with others, and keep Ivo alive. Now regarding builds. Of course, builds you can regard only from the perspective of all the team. It makes no sense just regard separate builds, because builds are always interconnected with the other team. So depending on who is your main character, depends everything. So actually your main character, it determines builds for everyone else. I think the only one the only two who don't care, it's Lan Nenio. Doesn't matter what your main character is, doesn't matter. Lan and Nenio, Lan will always stay the same. So this build of Lan is good for every team, and Nenio will be almost the same for all the main characters. So Lan stays the same for all the teams, and Nenio almost is the same. There is small difference. Diran is the same story. Diran stays the same for all the teams. Zosiel also, he stays the same for all the teams, with some small differences. So Lan is 100% the same. Nenio, Diran and Zosiel, they like 95% they stay the same. They keep the same builds for all the team. Doesn't matter who your main is. Now Camellia Camille, I believe, can have two variations, depending who you're playing with. If its main character is wizard or mage, or if it's melee character, but mostly she will stay also the same. So now let's look at LAN. If we look at LAN, we see this build. And believe me, that's the best build for LAN. At least up till here. Up till here, it's the best build. Those three last fits are questionable, but they don't really play any difference. I think it's useful to have this dazzling display and shatter defense. I think it's useful to have this, even if it works only on minor enemies. This, speaking sincerely, is useless. I never used it. Maybe I should have. This gives +4 to armor class. +4. If you fight on defensively, it gives you +4 to armor class for LAN. But LAN loses -2 to his accuracy. So you lose -2 to accuracy here. You lose. Oh, that's it. Where is it, I wonder? Because not one's turn. It will like that. Okay, you lose here also. And then your attack goes like -5. So you will definitely not be using it against bosses. Because if you fight bosses like really Warlish, like Discari, like others like Mephistopheles, like all those things like Vavakias, Vanguards and so on, you need to have as much accuracy, as much precision for your attack as possible. So with big bosses you will not use it. And with small bosses, and you will also not use this. I didn't use it with a real Warlish. Even with this, he was missing like hell. But with that, okay, missing like hell. When she is debuffed, she was hitting strong. Once he did like 2 crits for 228 HP in one round. He critted twice. Without this. But anyway, even with this, without deadly aim, he was missing a lot with Aril. Imagine if I put this. He'll probably never even hit her. It means this is not useful at all. It was a mistake. Shit. That deadly aim. I speaking like starting from Act 4. I didn't use it also. Because enemies are so let's say they have armor class and so on. So why would I use it? It's better to have maximum precision. So this I used, I think, a little bit in Act 3. A little bit in Act 2. In some cases it was useful, especially when you have guarded hearth and you fight minor enemies in Act 2 and Act 3. Question is if it's really needed so early. I would say is useful in early game, maybe in Kenabres, when you make a first hit, and you hit from stealth. so you can deal more damage. So if you use tactic hit and run, you come from stealth, you make your first hit, most probably you will hit. Oh shit. Most probably you will hit. But it's only in first 3 acts. Something wrong with my throat. Okay, like I cannot talk, strange. Thank you. Thank you. I killed her. I defeated her. And actually, I'm just telling how I did, but something is with my throat, so I cannot talk. When I talk, I start coughing. You mean you watched that last video, yes? The last video. Yeah, that's good. But actually what I did, I made it much more difficult for myself. And that's what I'm trying to tell now, that the biggest mistake I done, it was my build of Zosiel. Instead of giving him Zealot domain or domain Zealot, I gave him spell focus evocation. That's the biggest. I know you know, but I also tell because maybe some people will watch it or watching or will watch later, so they will know. Yeah. So that was a mistake. That instead of Zealot domain, I gave spell focus. Spell focus actually, it gives some two more DCs for blades, because main weapon of Diran, it's blades. It's blades, and indeed it's good to have more DC on blades, so that it can like block enemies more efficiently, because yeah, so that's why I selected Mythic Feat, spell focus Mythic Evocation, because I wanted to make my blades more devastating, so they would damage enemies more, that enemies couldn't pass through so easily through them. That was the main reason I added this. But I believe even without this I would manage. Blades would work even without that. Especially we have Diran, who has all of that. For Diran is a must. It's a must for Diran. But I think for Zosiel it would probably work without. Blades would be still efficient. Especially if you mix, yeah, they will be still efficient. So instead, if I took the main Zealot, it would make combat with Arilu so much easier. So my advice, personal advice, just use somewhere, put like here Madness Domain. Here put immediately domain Zealot. Here put knowledge domain and ability domain there. So this is the best build here. Community domain second, abundant casting improved, last end doesn't need to be first. Even if you put first, you don't have abundant casting, it means he can't be efficient. So up till here, that's should be like that. Then Madness Domain, and then of course Domain Zealot, then knowledge domain, rapture restraints, and ability domain. And then your Zosio will be machine, a death machine. And here it's a bug because it doesn't show what it is here. It doesn't show. Here it's extend spell. Speaking sincerely, I never ever used extend spell with Zosio. So this just was lost for nothing. Lost for nothing. So that's definitely a mistake. Why? Because I never used it. Okay, there was certain use. Why? Certain use was here, because actually I used it here. I created extended Shield of Law and extended Holy Aura. So I thought it would last longer. But speaking sincerely, this is enough. It's enough even without extending. It's enough. It's 1 round per level. So if you're level 19, it's 19 rounds. 19 rounds is more than enough for any fight. Even with the real Warlish, I don't remember how many it was, but I think you can beat her for, if everything goes good, 15 rounds you can beat her. But not more than 20 rounds. And 20 rounds you will always have, because you are level 20. So 20 rounds is enough. You or you win or you lose, 2 possibilities. But 20 rounds enough to beat any enemy. So if you don't do it for 20 rounds, then you don't do it at all. It means extend. I don't need extended here. And that means that this fit here is just not necessary. Put my advice, put it something that give him more survivability. So he has here toughness. I think he had toughness in the beginning. He had heavy armor proficiency. Give him maybe some shield bonus. Maybe give him, I don't know, something else that he could survive longer. Because as I understood from combat with the real Warlish, survivability very important. If they can stand 1 round longer, stay alive 1 round longer, it can help you win. So 1 round can mean a lot. So better give something here that would. By the way, I'm not sure about Die Hard, because there is Die Hard and there is Last Stand. I don't know, and I'm not sure if anyone knows, if Die Hard works with Last Stand together. What I mean, if you get a critical hit, like you are killed, Last Stand lets you still survive 2 rounds. Does it mean that if you lost your Last Stand, your Die Hard will work and let you win 1 more round? I think they like cross each other. I think if you are hit, if you are killed, Die Hard is on and Last Stand is on. So you like lose Die Hard. It would be very nice if you have Last Stand, and then after Last Stand passes, still Die Hard enters in the game and works, so you can survive 3 rounds. But I don't think it works like that. I think when you have Last Stand, you also have simultaneously Die Hard. That means that Die Hard really useless if you have Last Stand. Die Hard can be useful when you don't have Last Stand yet. But then it becomes useless. So if you select Die Hard in the beginning, it might help you to win some battle, but then you will have one feat, then it becomes obsolete. So I don't advise take Die Hard at all, because with one extra round in the first act will not save you. You can beat your enemies anyway. So to me Die Hard is useless. But something should be put here that would increase his survivability, and it will definitely help in the combat with real warriors. Now I don't remember what is here because it's bugged, but we can check it here. Abilities, we can check here what I have. What is 19 feet? I select spell specialization Blade Barrier. It's also a mistake because it just doesn't work. Because Blade Barrier, it's only to level 15. It's maximum. So if you're at level 16, 17, 18, 19, it doesn't matter anymore. So it was also a mistake to select here Blade Barrier. This. So those two feats, better to use them selecting something which makes him more tanky. So shield focus can be here, for example, and here, I don't know, something else. Or here can be maybe deflection of arrows on level 17 can be useful, and here maybe shield focus, but something to make you more survivable. Those two are not needed. And here, instead of this, the main is yield. The rest is okay. For LAN, we also discussed already. For LAN, it's always like that. He comes with combat reflexes, then precise shot is a must. Doesn't matter what, it should be always precise shot. This can differ. I gave him improved initiative, which helped. In Labyrinth, you could also use deflect arrows, which will help you in a combat against Gambions. But problem is, so you can win. In most cases, they will not one-shot you. If you have this, you have less chance to be one-shot than without it. In level 3. But because I had Wizard, I didn't care so much about Gambions. As a Wizard, he just can kill those Gambions with magic missiles and so on. Yeah, that's why I went for initiative. Improved initiative is very useful in tavern defense. When you're defending your tavern in Canabres, that's where you would need improved initiative. Because improved initiative, it means you will shoot a bit more often, and in tavern defense it's important. But again, I had Wizard, so I didn't care so much, so I took her initiative. If I played with melee, I would probably give her deflect arrows, and here improved initiative. And I would put deadly aim for later, if ever. It can be useful. Sometimes you can, especially if you crit, it helps. So it's good to have it anyway. But maybe a bit later. So I would put here. So if you play with wizard or some, let's say someone like wizard or sorcerer, I would put here. I would put here like I did. Improve the initiative, and the rest is okay. But if you play with melee, I would put here. Deflect arrows first for labyrinth, and then I would put here improved initiative for tavern defense. Here and here, yeah, and here I will put deadly aim, and then this here, and somewhere here maybe hammer the gap. Or I could have put like deflect arrows, improved initiative, then hammer the gap, then those two fits, and here deadly aim. Yeah. As I said already, dazzling display and shattered defenses, I didn't see so much use of it, but probably they're useful. Or against weaker enemies, I think they're useful. When you shake them off with frightful aspect, yeah, they're shaken, so probably that works. But I'm not sure how efficient it is. Anyway, there is nothing better. I don't think there is anything better. So probably it's a better choice. That's the best choice. Anyway, you don't have so much to choose. And here, of course, here is dodge. Dodge is a must. The more armor class. If you'll see my previous videos, you will see that in Midnight Isles, Anna was like cleaning almost all the islands alone. Almost all the islands alone, with some small help from the team, but I think last 4 or 5 islands he did just by himself. For Crane Style, as I said, I don't think it was a good idea because I never used it, and on these levels it makes no sense to use it. Because you will be missing. If you use it, you have -2 to your attack and -2 against bosses. It's important. So that's. But again, it doesn't hurt. Why not to have it? Because there is not really so much choice there. There is not so much choice. So that's a build for one, and that build is valid for all the main character. Just if you have melee, put here deflect arrows. If it's like wizard or sorcerer or somebody who can hit from distance and run, then put here improved initiative. But if deflect arrows here, improved initiative must be here for tavern defense and also other things. And the whiz can come later. Now for Nenio this build seemed to be okay, because unexpectedly she was hitting good with her Hellfire's Ray. She wasn't missing as often as I would suspect, so she was quite efficient with Hellfire Ray. Diran, by the way, as well. So I gave her here bolster spell. Here is empower spell and Phaeton spell, quicken spell, focus fire. I was thinking that maybe I shouldn't have given her bolster spell, but problem is that bolster spell in the beginning helps because it's extra damage. Whatever you say, bolster spell and empower spell, it's extra damage for her magic missiles, because wizard also had magic missiles and nano magic missiles. And when they combined their magic missiles and also nano could hurt more with those two, it was impressive. It was impressive. So it's good to have it, because it really helps in first 3 acts. Starting from Act 4, this really becomes not interesting. But first 3 acts it helps. And where is it? Here is Hellfire Ray. So you can empower, but you can bolster. So let's say bolster is less useful, because if you quicken spell, you can't empower it. Oh no, I do something wrong. Yeah, I did something wrong, yeah. I meant something like that, I think. Like that. Yeah, I meant that. So, idea is, I showed this idea. Why it's good to have an empowered bolster. It can help on the later levels also, especially with a little Warlash. So now here I have 2 different Hellfires. One is empowered bolstered and one is quickened. So what I do something like that and like that. So quicken, bolster. So I shoot 2 in one time. Empowered bolstered and quickened. Empowered bolstered and quickened. So it's important for a little Warlash and for some bosses, which is important. So before Ariel Warlash, I thought this was not necessary. Now I think it is necessary, because it helps, it definitely helps in the first 3 acts. It helps against Blightmaw in Dresden, for example. It helps against this monster in the tavern. Forgot how it's called. It helps against Arcorian Ghost, so just go for that. That's a good build. Even if you have your main wizard. If you have your main melee, that's a must. Because if you have your main melee, then Nenio will be your main damage dealer in the beginning, together with Lan. Because all those demons, the only way to kill them will be Nenio. At least she will do a lot for that. She will do a lot for that. So her magic missile should be as powerful as possible. So if you play melee, this is a must. If you play wizard or some sorcerer, maybe you can do without. Maybe, but still I would take it. So this stays, and of course spell penetration, it's important, and heighten, it's a must. Quicken, it's a must. So only thing, I've taken quicken too early. I should have taken it quicken maybe later, but it's also good to have it. Why not? Could be used with magic missiles also. Could be used with magic missiles. So why not? But still, this can be taken like I see it now. Now I would take quicken spell here. Would be the last one. And I would better take earlier point blank shot earlier. And I would take earlier precise shot. So here I would take point blank, he would take precise. Now regarding those 2 things, of course it's very, very good to have it, because it's one more to DC and so on. But the question is, on this level her main weapon is of course Hellfire Ray, and yeah, it hits also with some Holy Fire or Holy Fire. I thought maybe it would be good to give something like critical Ray, like improved critical for Ray. Problem is to take improved critical for Ray, then I need to sacrifice this. And in Mythic Pass, I think we could have managed without this, without enchantment. Enchantment definitely is not so bad. It's not so bad because it works. It works, but I think it would work anyway, even if I had my 2 DC less. It still would work. So maybe it's better to use it also for improved critical. I don't know how often will she crit with Hellfire Ray, but she might. So maybe it would make sense. Maybe it would make sense to take, instead of Elemental Focus Fire Plus, take like improved critical Ray. And then here take also improved critical Ray. So that could work. And here it's of course a must. This is all a must. Less stand. Less stand can be given also even earlier. Ascendant element later is earlier, but I prefer to take it earlier. Helps against swarms in Ivory Sanctum. When you fight swarms of Zantirvank, that helps. Anyway, they are dying anyway, because they don't have protection against fire, but I think it's good to have. But it could be less stand here and Ascendant element fire here, so could be taken even earlier. And then of course greater abundant casting, or it could be taken earlier. Greater abundant casting could be taken earlier here less stand, and here Ascendant element fire. But less stand should be always here or here, not later. So less stand or here or here. Here it's already too dangerous. It's or here or here. Here it depends. Great abundant casting or less stand. If your main is wizard or whatever, or sorcerer, you can keep it like that. But if your main is melee, I would put here great abundant casting. I would definitely put it here to have just a bit more spells. Or maybe here. Maybe here. Maybe less stand here, greater abundant casting here. But then fire here. Yeah, and then fire here. But it also works like that. I take some short break. Yeah. So that's about Nania. So this like option, this is good build, it all works. It all works. Just suggestions that might be that we could drop one of those, put here improved critical for Ray, drop that, and put improved critical for Ray as well. On the other hand, without this, we'll have less power, we'll lose 2 DC for enchantment spells, and enchantments it's quite useful in the level 19 and 18, level 18, 19 it's useful, level 20 also. Not against big bosses, but it's okay. But this I would keep. For Diran, I think it's all correct. It's all fine like that. Here too. Improved critical for Ray. I think even crit once with Ray, or even a couple of times. Now, for Camellia, there could be 2 ways to go. I spend forfeits only to get one more spider swarm when she summons. Normally she summons, it's 4 spider swarms. With that, 1, 2, 3, with that she has 5 spider swarms. This gives more strength and constitution to spiders. I don't know if it gives something in reality, but this gives just one extra spider swarm. Now when I play the game, I don't think it's really necessary, because 4 spider swarms are more than sufficient. It's rarely when I used all my spiders. Rarely. It means if you can live without it, we can. We don't need that, and we don't need that. So we can just drop all 3 feats. And then you can drop this also. It means instead of those 4 feats, she will still have her swarms, she will be using swarms, but instead of those 4 feats, we can do something else. We can give her something else. And now, after fight with Arilla Warlish, what I would do, I would give her something that would make her more tanky, that she could survive maybe 1 round longer. I really will kill her anyway, but Maybe if she'll have here like 4 feats to make her more tanky, maybe it's okay. Maybe she can survive one round more. And it's important. 1 round, it's a lot. So I would not use it. I would put something. It's also good, why not, to have one extra spider swarm, but to spend 4 feats just for 1 spider swarm, no use. So that can be replaced. And I would really put to make her tanky. Initiative +4. There's 22. Otherwise should have 18. Has 11. Has 25. Nanya has 16. And 16 is, I feel it that she's a bit too slow. So 16 it does play a role. So maybe it's too low. Would be nice to have more initiative. And he has 11. And okay, he was doing his job. She has 16. And she has 22. So I think if she had 18, it won't be dramatical. So it means we can also drop initiative. Problem is that, of course, it's +4 here. Yeah. So we can drop it. Because it makes sense to give more initiative to damage dealers and so on, main damage dealers. She is not main damage dealer, not damage dealer at all. But another thing, if you put here improved initiative, then it's good also to have here initiative. So what I would do, I would skip definitely those 4, replacing with some tanky feat to make her more tanky, and I would probably even do the same for that, because if you go for tankiness, then why do you need initiative? If you go for tankiness. Yes, coming back because I had to talk. So this we drop for tankiness, and I think this we can also drop for tankiness. So everything that makes her more survivable, I would invest in it. She's not a damage dealer, then initiative not really important. So for tankiness. And then Mythic Pass. I gave her enduring spells. Actually those two things, it's nice to have them. It's nice to have them, but I wouldn't say it's really something so important. It's nice to have, but it's manageable without those. Maybe you would need to rest a couple of times more, sometimes. But also she doesn't have so much spells. What she does actually is a buffer. As a buffer she gives that. That's good to have longer. That's good to have like 24 hours a day. Whatever it is, it's +2 to armor class and so on, so it's good to have it on all the time. Remove fear, I don't think it's important. On the later stage we have those things anyway. This bark skin, okay, it stays longer. That's good to have. This stays longer, okay. This stays longer. Eagle Splendor and so on. I don't know, because we have this bears endurance, yes, but we have already all those belts, which gives +4, +6 headbands. So this really doesn't give anything. This doesn't give anything. This, yes, bears endurance and stays 24 hours. Blur 24 hours is good, but she can't have blur. That's a problem. You can have only 2 blurs. One and one you can get extra. So I was giving blur to my wizard, and another blur I was giving to, I think, to Lan or to Nenio, depends. So this is useful to have 24 hours, but so I don't think it was the best choice. Now I think it's better to give those 2 things again for her tankiness. And here now I would give Mythic Dodge, and here Mythic Shield Focus. That's how I would it now. I would do it now. Mythic Dodge, Mythic Shield Focus. No doubt about it. And of course, Archmage Armor. It's good. Because we have wind. Wind gives her that air barrier. So Archmage Armor doesn't give so much, because I think they don't stack. If I give her Archmage, I mean, where is it? This Mage Armor. So I think it gives her 1. So this and this actually is, it doesn't stack. So maybe it was better give her Archmage Armor instead of wind. And here give something else. also to make her more tanky. So that's how I would build her now. No enduring spells, dodge mythic, focus shield mythic, archmage armor, and something also for tankiness, whatever it is. Maybe, yeah, if here I give her, for example, how it's called with feet. This feat is called toughness. So if I give her, for example, toughness, here I can give her mythic toughness. Like that. Shield focus mythic, whatever, dodge mythic, mythic toughness, and archmage armor. Or wind and mythic toughness. That's how I would do it now. Another way to develop her, that's her role is supportive role. Buffer support. Her main support comes from buffs, comes from this, from fortune, and from protective luck, from chant, and from evil eye, and from ice plant. So those five are her major tools. That's of course it's more to her armor class. Even if later we need to drop that ring we had to drop, because this is more important. And ring of evasion. By the way, I gave everyone a ring of evasion. Without ring of evasion, forget about defeating Arilu Warlish. Forget about it. That's first time I used it, ring of evasion here. Forget. Not first time, it's also useful, by the way, for Lan when he runs through the blades. He can put blades and run through them. But forget about defeating Arilu Warlish without giving everyone ring of evasion. And then it's also a must for Nenio. Then forget for Nenio about Icy Protector. But I prefer to lose -2 for to lose -2 for to lose -2 to armor class to get that instead. Also, I could have given her, instead of headband of inspired wisdom, I could have given her this. It's +3 to armor class. So she can be made quite tanky. And it's important that she survives. So I don't see her as a damage dealer. I see her as a support. And tank support. So on this level of difficulty, if you want to make her damage dealer, then I don't know how it would work. Because if you make her damage dealer, then you need invest here in like rapier, like weapon focus, whatever, great weapon focus, I don't know, some other things. Yeah. Then you would need, of course, initiative, and here you would need. So if you make her damage dealer, I don't think she would be a great damage dealer, and she can be, because maybe you can make her a great damage dealer. Great, more or less, but then should be one shot. So on this level of difficulty, I really don't see her as damage dealer. I see her as buffer, spammer, and tank. That's good. So that's regarding Camille. Inspirational leader is a must. It's absolutely a must. But with not, and one of those should go away. Or this or this. Better probably this. Now for mythic of LAN we didn't check. Here's last stand is a must. Last stand for LAN should go the first. No doubt about it. Whatever build. Whatever your main character is, LAN will have always the same build. Last stand, cleaving shot, ranging shot. Exactly in this order. It all makes sense. It will help you a lot when fighting in Gargullias, and fighting all those Babaus, and in the Act 2 and 3 and so on. And ghouls also, it will help a lot. And then ranging shots, and then brute critical, and then of course the bigger they are, I think it's also good to have. Improved initiative mythic is good to have, so rapture it's a must. Window focus on ball. So that's always good to have. It's thanks to this Archmage armor and so on. LAN could solo islands in Midnight Isles. By the way, also he was good in Enigma. In Enigma he was also very good. So this is, I think, the optimal thing here. I think this is the optimal mythic build for him. But here, as I said, here this is disputable, but there is just nothing else to take. There is nothing else to take. So. Now, if you have your melee character, imagine your character is melee, cleric, crusader, or whatever, if you want to play with a fighter or with inquisitor, your build, of course, for others will be elite, a bit different. One stays almost always the same, he just switches improved initiative with deflect arrows. If it's melee main, then put here deflect arrows. If it's not melee, put here improved initiative. But for the rest, if your character is melee, and if he doesn't have like share team feats function, then you will need improved you will need where is it? You will need a light spellcaster for everyone, because here he has extra spell penetration thanks to team feats a light spellcaster, which he shares among everyone. Inquisitor can do the same. Actually, if you play Azata, you can do it, and Inquisitor can do it even if Inquisitor is not Azata. But if you play with Cleric, for example, then you need to have this anyway. This feat is a must. because then Nenio is your, if you have melee here, then Nenio is your main damage dealer, and Tiran. First with magic missiles, then with Hellfire, Tiran with Hellfire. In this case, you will need to have more spell penetration, and then you absolutely need that fit. So to get it, you have to have it here. So in this case, in level 5, should be a light spellcaster. Because you need this already on level 7, you will need it. So to profit on level 7 from some magic missiles of Nenio and some other things, you need to have it here. So we would sacrifice tankiness of Camellia in the beginning, but give her a light spellcaster. And then this is absolutely a must. Hide and spell, it should go here before it's not necessary, because it's your skeletons. Hide and spell, it's your skeletons. And skeletons, it's a basis of success till, I don't know, till level 15 maybe. Maybe till level 15, before you get spiders. When you have spiders, then you don't rely on skeletons so much anymore. Still they can be useful. But so this is a must on level 7. So here a light spellcaster, then here, and then here you put shield focus and the rest to make your tanky. And then extend spell, I don't think it's useful. Quicken spell could be useful for her. That's true. Quicken spell could be useful. Why? Because of this. Because if you have quicken spell, you can have it on level 9. So you put your raise dead, put a quicken spell, it becomes level 9. And then with a battle with Arilu Warlish, if two of your companions are killed simultaneously, you can simultaneously raise up 2, which means a lot. So when you start playing, think already about the end. Think about Arilu Warlish combat. So you should prepare for Arilu Warlish already in the beginning. This is also very good, unfortunately. So this is good, so you can raise from dead 2 instead of 1. That's good. You can dispel twice. I never tried Camellia against Arilu Warlish as a dispeller. We can try it now, by the way, why not? We can try it. Just for heck of it. But maybe it would work. Then imagine here she would have like 2 dispels. 2 dispels. And then she can do it twice in one go. I don't know if she's a good dispeller, but we can try it now. So that's already for that good to have quicken mage, and for that it's good to have. But still, this is good to have. It makes things easier. It makes game a bit easier. I mean, a bit more comfortable, a bit less buffs, and so on. But it's doable without it. So that's regarding Chameleon. So as an option, give her here again like shield focus mythic and dodge mythic. Let's say here archmage armor, and here instead of extend spell, give her weaken spell. By the way, I never used it. Maybe I should have tried it for a fight with a little Warlish. Maybe I should. Maybe if I put it a lot of those, because it's conjuration, by the way. Maybe if I put it, maybe it will work. I never tried it, by the way. That nothing special. This was useful in the beginning till level 3, till Act 3. After Act 3 I never used it. By the way, probably the biggest use of those things is this spell, because it stays 24 hours. That is very good. But that's probably the biggest use of this fit, is that it stays so long. So they're all shaken, and then Lan can use his Dazzling Display and Shatter Defenses. But again, it works only against weaker enemies, against those small enemies. And I believe those small enemies can be killed anyway by Lan. But it helps, it helps. So that's something to choose. If you want to build her as a tank, then you need drop those. I'm just curious to try on a little Warlish those. But how can you try? Because she teleports. She doesn't walk actually. She doesn't walk, she teleports. She teleports. So it will not affect her, I think. Anyway, she has so high statistics that it doesn't matter. Actually, I never used it. No, I used it once. I used it once in the game. I think I used it in Midnight Fane. Yes, I used it once in Midnight Fane. It's this. Where is it? Here. I used it once in Midnight Fane. And it helped. It helped the Midnight Fane. It's only once I used it. It slows enemy down. There was some, I think, Marilites and someone else. I put a lot of things on the floor and they were quite, it slowed them down. So I used it only once. I probably could have used it many times, but I don't know why I just didn't use it. Only once in Midnight Vein. Because probably it's too long. Click, put, I don't know. But I think maybe in combination with blades, you put this, and if you put blades, I think it's a good combination. I probably didn't use it so much that I used skeletons instead. I like to use skeletons, spam everything with skeletons. Yes. But why not to put them? I can imagine on the easier difficulties it must be really OP, something like that. And blades also, by the way. Like if you play on hard, where enemies have lower reflex, blades and this, it's OP. Arilo Warlash doesn't care about blades at all, but blades are good for against everyone else. Even Arilo Warlash you can push with blades. It's also good to push. Yes, I wanted to check if Camellia can dispel. Let's test. After that I will make a normal video with the builds, like I will take my wizard and others and like build them from the very beginning and so on. So what I need to do, just replace Nenio with
Anything new?
I sure to use that, unfortunately.
I'm always open to ideas.
Put Camellia here. Can go to Camellia. This.
Would you please keep this up with me?
Like that we will know if it's worth to give her quicken spell just for that. To have 2 dispels in a row would be a very nice thing.
What's on your mind? I wonder. Open your heart to me. I heed the voice of the spirits.
Let's try.
Save the last one for me.
Camellia fails. Roll 16, modifiers 20. She needs to roll 20. But wait, what happened with a bit of luck? I tried bit of luck for that, and I think it was bugged. We can try it now.
I will lend you my aid.
Bit of luck and what? Maybe that.
Open your heart to me.
Let's try.
Save the last one for me.
Failed. And here I don't understand how it works actually. Modifier is 20. She rolls 5 and 8. And here it shows 31. Modifier is 20 because it's her caster level. But we can, I think, do it like that if I take this. I can take this Cloak of Librarian that I'm using on Nenio and belt. Then it'll be better, of course. With the Cloak of Librarian and the belt. Cloak of Librarian. It's not really a good idea because strange. Oh, yeah. Okay. Librarian's cloak and a belt. But it works only for scrolls, of course. So somehow it's more logical. Yeah, and she loses her dexterity, and dexterity only one armor, but still maybe it's worse. Now let's see. Let's see if I... Then we need to give her scrolls. No, it makes no sense. So it makes no sense to give her maybe this quicken spell. Maybe not. Because quicken spell doesn't work on scrolls. And this, of course, otherwise she'll be like everyone. No, I don't think it. I think it's. It would be good to have her quicken spell, but I think more important is to give her tankiness. Is to give her tankiness. So tank, 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 tank. Something to make her tank. If there is nothing, then extend spell. And here, all on tankiness. Okay, that's all I wanted to tell. So, just summary, it's definitely doable to do it on this difficulty and with this party. It's doable. It's even more doable with Cleric Crusader, thanks to Angel spells and merge books. It will be the same doable with Demon, I think, and with Leech, because they're also very powerful. At least Leech is powerful, and I think Demon is also powerful. Sort of a Demon Wizard, maybe. Because Azata is the weakest. Azata is the weakest. So if you can do it with Azata, you can do it with anything. And I'm curious if it's possible to do it with Fighter. This Fighter will be extremely challenging to get till Arilu, but maybe it will be possible. I am not possible if there is a way to win, to beat Arilu if your main is a fighter. Sure, it's possible. Because who will be dealing damage then? Here, everyone was dealing damage. And Nanyo a little bit, and Diran, and Lan even, but a lot of damage was coming from Wizard, of course. If you have Fighter instead, we are losing one damage dealer. Then who will deal damage? Then we need to sacrifice someone. For example, take away Zosil, but we cannot take away Zosil. We need his guarded hearth. Actually, what was the function of Zosil? What Zosil was doing here? He gave his guarded hearth and his domains. So you see, Zosil is very important here, very important. Diran was dealing good damage. Diran mostly was doing one thing, Hellfire Rays. So Diran probably can be replaced with Ember, and I think Ember would be more efficient here. If you make her good, she can also, because Wizard is not here anymore, if you have Fighter, then we have those items that we can give to Nenyo, to Ember. So Ember can deal quite a damage with Hellfire Ray. So Ember somehow will replace Wizard. Main damage from Wizard is Hellfire Ray, but yes, it's double, like he has this feature of Azata, Zappy Magic. Ember will not have Zappy Magic. That's of course minus points. He will not have Zappy Magic. It's only plus points that Ember can give Fortune and Ember can give Protective Luck, which stacks with Camelia's Fortune and Protective Luck. And also Ember can have Evil Eye, but she'll be killed also quite fast. And then we will not have Ivo, and Ivo is so important because Ivo resurrects. Ivo is resurrecting force. So for Fighter, it will be really very challenging here. I don't know even if it's winnable. So I'm thinking whom I should play with next game. Who should it be?
Meditate on your mistakes. Might make you feel better.
my next playthrough, I'm wondering who I should be playing with. I wanted fighter. Fighter would be very interesting. But with a little warlish, it will not be interesting at all. I'm afraid it would be impossible. And Paladin, it's boring. It's boring. Because it's easy. Paladin is like Cleric Crusader. They divine spellcasters, they have merged books, so they'll be destroying with everything like hell. So neither a Cleric Crusader nor Paladin are interesting. Inquisitor could be a bit more interesting, maybe. Maybe Inquisitor could be interesting, by the way. Maybe Inquisitor indeed. He has some spells. And I could play Inquisitor with whom? With Aeon maybe. But Inquisitor is a damage dealer. So I really should think whom I should play with. Should it be fighter? But again, how will I deal with Ariel Warlish? How to deal with a little warlish? Might be impossible. Or it should be they should be very, very lucky. Because Ember, if you have fighter, then the only way to continue is to replace Diran with Ember. So we can get Ember's fortune, Ember's protective luck. But she won't have the magic. But maybe by having double protective luck, we can compensate absence of the magic. Actually, why I'm talking about the magic? How can it help? Here the magic doesn't help. Here it doesn't help. Here the magic doesn't help. What does help here? That helps. That helps. And regarding if I'm thinking what to play next, and regarding that, So for Ember to be efficient with Hellfire Ray, she'll need to have Bolster and Empower. Or Empower, Maximize. That's her build. She needs Heightened Spell, of course. Improved Critical Array. She would need to have Quicken Magic, I'm afraid. She would need to have Quicken Magic. She would need to have Quicken Magic. And she would need to have Improved Critical Array, of course. And a Light Spellcaster. Shit. So here would be a Light Spellcaster. That would all move here. No, this would need to have earlier. So here we would have a Light Spellcaster. This would move here, this would move here. But not like that. A Light Spellcaster. This here. And here Heightened Magic. So, a Light Spellcaster. This goes here. Here goes Heightened Magic. Here goes that. Here's Improved Critical Array. Spellcaster. This. And then we add here Quicken Magic, of course. And here would be Quicken Magic. And instead of this, could have been something like School Mastery Evocation. I think it's bullshit. That doesn't work. So here should be, could be two things. So this is not necessary. Actually, it's never necessary. It just doesn't work anymore on this level. If to take it, it should be taken earlier, but not as late as now. We can hear improved critical array, maybe. Improved critical array. And then maybe she could somehow replace... problem is that she would need to have also other things. Yeah. She would need to have more meta magic, something like empower spell, maybe. But where? This is a light spell caster. Absolute, it's a must. It's a must. And here goes spell focus evocation. Do I need it? Do I need this spell focus evocation? No, I need it, I need it. I need it. So, evocation. Heightened spell. Evocation. Here, quicken spell. Maybe here, improved critical array. Elemental focus fire. I need both of them, unfortunately. I need both of them. It means to be without bolster, without empower. I think maybe she could replace. She could be strong damage dealer with Hellfire. Maybe she could. Then I would have her fighter, and then maybe it could work. But definitely fighter would be the biggest challenge, the biggest ever challenge. Could be also, I could have taken fighter Azata. If I taken fighter Azata, he would have function to share team feats, and we would share some team feats. We would share some team feats. The light spellcasters, for example. For example, light spellcasters. Azata for fighter could be useful, actually. Could be useful. So I'm still thinking what to play, and maybe I will try fighter. Maybe I will try fighter. It would be a crazy challenge. I don't think you can get something more difficult than play fighter Azata in the Ultimate Unfair. Fighter Azata. It would be crazy. And I think I would love to do it. So I'm thinking. The biggest challenge fighter Azata. Ultimate Unfair. Okay. Thank you for watching, and that's all actually. That's all. I will take some time. I will be thinking what should I play. Maybe I can still do this first DLC. Why not? Maybe I could do the first DLC. How it's called? Inevitable Access. This I did. Problem is, when I had to reinstall everything, it was deleted. It's good to do it once, but I don't feel like doing it for the second time. Then this I played, it was integrated. By the way, where is that DLC with Lesser Korean? Or is it now integrated in the game? I thought that DLC would be seen here. So the Lesser Korean. So that's I don't understand. Where is my Lesser Korean? So I have finished now my game, okay? I have finished game. Then I have bought this Lesser Korean, for example. How can I play it? I need to restart to play a new game or what? Because all the DLCs, they are displayed here. 1, 2, 3. Where is Lesser Korean? Why it's not here? It should be also interesting to play. Where is the Lesser Guardian? How can I play the Lesser Guardian? Or do I need... No, I cannot. It means I had to play the Lesser Guardian during my... Yes, I see.
The architect.
I'm all ears.
I'm here. Wind.
Are we ready to move out? I'll watch your back.
Oh, they come here like that. Interesting.
Access detected. Verbal exchange request. If this world is request. Anomalies request.
Not gonna play it, but
Go quiet steps. Weapons
no,
ready.
at least not now.
I'm gone.
Request. Please proceed to the fortress entrance.
Combat starts, yes. And you want to make me scared after a little varnish.
This is not my time yet.
And so on and so on and so on. Okay, I see. Okay, thank you for watching, that's all I wanted to say. So I will think about what to play next, how to play, when to play, with whom to play. Big chance I will do it with a fighter. And the fighter could well be Azata. It could well be Azata. Or maybe Angel. Maybe Eon. But Azata has some useful features. Okay, goodbye.